Imagine you are attending Rice University while also working a full time job. You work unbelievably hard 6 days of the week, sacrificing sacred study and freedom. You give up a lot of your college experience to work this job. You work this full time job year round for all 4 years of your time in college, and you aren't paid a single dime. This is the life of a Division One student. Division One student athletes are some of the hardest working individuals in the country. Yet they're enslaved by the NCAA, who profits millions off of their dedication and rigorous lifestyle, while athletes receive little to no compensation for dedicating 4 or more years of their lives to collegiate athletics. Student athletes deserve to be paid as a member of a collegiate athletics team. According to Greenville University, most college athletes pay money out of their own pockets to compete at such a high level, while the NCAA and their member universities make billions of dollars every year. I have gained firsthand experience in the life of a Division One student. Financial struggles are quite present in the lives of many athletes here at Rice. Proper compensation would ease the struggles of families across the country that just want what is best for their son or daughter. Today, I'm going to speak to you about the problems that arise with student athletes not receiving reasonable compensation, the reasons for this, and how we can go about solving this issue. The problem is essentially that athletes are not paid for their work, but must be fully committed. According to the NCAA, athletes are prohibited from working while their sport is in season. Yet the NCAA fails to meet the financial necessities of college needs. Rice University estimates that students need to account for approximately $2,700 in personal expenses every year. Student athletes, on average, need to eat more and consume supplements that are not provided by the school, upping their personal expenses even more. If athletes can't get a job and they don't have the financial support from home, how are they supposed to compete at their best? But more importantly, how are they even supposed to live? Athletes themselves turn a remarkable profit for the NCAA and their respective universities, yet are not compensated for what they've earned. According to USA Today, the NCAA had a revenue of $1.1 billion from 2017 college sporting events. None of that money went to student athletes. Business Insider published a chart in 2017 that shows that the average university makes $63.6 million off of sports each year. While just a small amount of that makes up scholarships, many athletes go without scholarship and all athletes go without pay once more. Scholarships are only 9 months, while being a college student is a year round job. Summer is often the most vigorous training period for athletes. This makes it difficult for student athletes to work around their schedules. Training for our school also includes having to pay gym memberships monthly, any equipment we may need, and specific food and supplements. All of this goes without any assistance as we better ourselves for the upcoming season. According to the National College Players Association, 86% of college athletes live in poverty while raking in millions for their university. Many student athletes come from poor homes. Their families cannot afford to send them living. Students are unable to afford the basic necessities while they are at school, yet are expected to perform at an elite level. There are 460,000 student athletes, according to the NCAA, all working for no pay. This means that there are 460,000 employees of the NCAA that are forced to work without pay. This means that not a single one of 460,000 people that give the NCAA a reason to exist is compensated appropriately. The root of the problem comes directly from the NCAA as a result of their rules, failure to act, and dedication to a pointless amateur status. The NCAA has a number of rules that regulate athletes being employed listed in the NCAA manual. Athletes are not allowed to work in season. In the summer, athletes and their employers must regularly fill out a number of forms to ensure that the athlete is getting paid for just their work and are not receiving any additional compensation for their name or reputation. This is all part of a running trend in the NCAA. The athlete shouldn't benefit from being an athlete. The NCAA has rules that prevent athletes from getting paid. According to the NCAA, athletes are not allowed to accept any money involved with their athletic activities. Schools such as University of Miami and SMU have been punished in the past for paying players. So why does this persist? What sustains it? Well, the reason for this continuing is due to the NCAA not taking any steps toward the proper compensation of athletes. The NCAA is not taking any steps towards paying athletes because they are trying to have athletes maintain amateur status. However, universities greatly benefit off of the brand that these athletes represent. The revenue is sourced directly from these athletes competing at such a high level. Colleges around the world pay their athletes stipends as they understand what these students represent. The NCAA wants to maintain amateur status just to claim that no college athlete in America is a professional. Athletes are already earning money. It is just being funneled into a different organization's account. Now is the time to solve this crucial problem. The governing body of the NCAA should address this issue and provide an adequate solution. They need to create new bylaws in regard to the paying of players. A specific amount should be set for what a student athlete must receive while competing under NCAA eligibility. The NCAA and the respective member institutions must provide this pay to all athletes that compete for a varsity sport. One of the major concerns with the paying of athletes, as raised by the New York Times, is that bidding wars would begin and only the richest schools would get the best players. This would lead to the NCAA becoming less competitive. If a flat rate was paid to all athletes universally that sufficiently covers normal additional cost of attending college, this would not change the competitiveness of the NCAA at all. Student athletes would still remain as amateurs and would not be signing $1 million collegiate contracts. However, they would have enough money to be able to properly care for themselves and ensure they can continue to compete at the highest level. This money would provide for athletes so they can continue to compete in their most sacred passion while not having to worry if they will be able to eat dinner because practice went wrong. Today, we talked about the problems that arise when student athletes do not receive pay, the reasons for this, and what the NCAA can do to fix this. According to a polling platform called College Pulse, most regular college students are in favor of student athletes being paid as they see how athletes must live. Collegiate athletes are one of the highest sources of revenue for universities across the nation, yet they are compensated with next to nothing. College student athletes deserve to be paid for the sacrifices, dedication, and hard work that comes with representing a school at the highest level. According to NCSA, there are a little over 100,000 new student athletes across all divisions entering the NCAA annually. 100,000 new student athletes will enter the poverty of being a collegiate student athlete every year. The time for change is now. I ask that you take a step into my shoes. If I offered you a job that consumes your life for 4 years and told you that I would be keeping every last cent that you earned, would you take it?